You are Locked On Boston College, your daily podcast on the Boston College Eagles, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This is Locked On Boston College, a YouTube exclusive here. I said that we would do a recruiting update, and here you go. BC in the last 3 days has landed 2 new offensive linemen, and you have to be excited where Dave DeGuglielmo has this program running here, because BC landed 2 offensive linemen with massive offer sheets. Michael Crounse, a offensive lineman from DeMatha Catholic in Maryland, announced earlier this week that he would be pledging to the Eagles, and Ryan Wickow, a versatile offensive lineman that can play up and down the line, also committed to the Eagles. Now, you have these 2 guys. You have the Wickow and you have Crounse. Both of them have offers from multiple ACC and Big Ten schools committing to the Eagles. And I talked to both kids, I think they're both super excited about the future of this program, and they fit a need for the Eagles. Now, Crounse looks like he's more of a tackle. He's 6'6", 300 pounds. He really fits that bigger exterior offensive lineman that they need on that offensive line. And Wickow, I don't know. He could play anything. He played 3 positions in high school. He played guard, he played center, he played tackle. And I think he could do any at BC. I'm not sure where they're going to recruit him. I talked to him about it, and he said, no, they didn't give me a specific position. So he'll be kind of a best fit when he gets there, because he does have the size to play any. He's a little smaller for a tackle, but he could play guard. He could also play center, so we'll have to see what he can do. This is a big first step for Googs. Dave DeGuglielmo, it's been slow for him to get, his big dogs in there, but he's got 2. And, there's some other names out there, Luke Baklenko from Georgia, and Amir Herring, a 4-star from Michigan that he's been connected with, that have been on campus. I still think BC could go 3, 4, even 5 recruits at the offensive line in this class. And this is an excellent start. Both kids are 3 stars. Both kids have major Power 5 offers. And you got to like where BC's heading in that position. So 2 in at that spot, and I think they're building some depth, which we said on our show for Friday is a big deal for that offensive line. So you get that. Then on Thursday, Boston College added their 3rd defensive back of the class, Nate Johnson III from Clearwater, Florida, committed to Boston College. He's a 3-star recruit, but you have to love what he can do. He is speed on speed on speed. And Jeff Hafley has preached all along that he wants guys in here that are fast. And he wanted to improve team speed for the Eagles. And that's exactly what Nate Johnson is. There's a Twitter account, I think it's at the UC Report. And it's, I forget the guy's name, but he does the top 300 for ESPN. And he ranked his top 5 speedsters that he's seen through the Under Armour games and such for the class of 2023. And he had Nate Johnson at number 5. So that tells you what you're getting here. You're getting elite speed with this kid. He's 5'9", 165 pounds, so he's a little bit on the smaller side, but, you want a little bit of both. You want bruising off defensive backs, and you want speedsters, and he's going to get that. He played both sides of the ball at Clearwater Central Catholic as a wide receiver and as an athlete, as a defensive back, so he could do both. But I think, again, you're seeing the repetition of what Hafley wants to do with this recruiting class. He wants to bring in kids that are fast, especially on that defensive side. Like you've got Jalen Williams still waiting out there. We don't know what he's going to do this year, who's breaking all sorts of records at BC for his track and field runs. And then you bring in kids like Nate Johnson, who has elite speed. You're looking at other kids that can do that kind of stuff. I mean, Roderick Pleasant, who was just on campus, he broke the 100-meter dash record for California. He's not committed to BC yet. The Eagles aren't in bad shape with him. So you're looking at BC really redefining the speed role on the speed level, on their roster. So I love the get here. He was not a name that was well known, but I mean, man, he was just at Wisconsin 2 weeks ago. So it's not like the bigger programs weren't aware of him. Nate Johnson was definitely seen by, Wisconsin Jim Leonard, their defensive coordinator, is a very good eye of talent, and he wanted him. So that tells you where Nate Johnson was at. Now, the final piece of news for recruiting, actually there's two we'll get into, is there's still one mystery commitment. I'm going to tell you on our podcast right now, because you're listening on YouTube, who I think that's going to be. Now, we've been watching, we don't get the Rick Ross GIFs anymore from former director of recruiting Joe Sullivan. If you're on Twitter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now we get the get-ins from Jeff Hafley with the eagle, with the sunglasses and a big burst of flame. Now, there's one more player that has not been announced. Nate Johnson was one. He was one of the mystery names. I knew that was going to be one of them. But there's one more that's still sitting, and I think he kind of outed himself on Twitter on Thursday, and that is New Jersey safety and 3-star safety Khalil Ali. He was on campus this week. He just canceled his last visit and just announced that he's going to be announcing on Sundays, which kind of lines up with what BC got. So a lot of times when a kid says he's going to commit, he tells the school ahead of time. And that's why you'll get an announcement like Jeff Hafley just did, right? You'll get that ahead of time and you go, why? Where's anyone going? And then you hear the announcement and you're like, you could put those two together, right? Khalil Ali is a major get. Again, speed. He's a safety from Pennsauken, New Jersey, and he had an impressive Final Five. Cincinnati, West Virginia, Pittsburgh, Louisville, and Boston College. And, for a while it looked like Louisville. I think he has a cousin that plays there, but I've heard that family members wanted him at BC. I see on 247 that they have him crystal ball to Cincinnati. I believe Cincinnati has like 6 defensive backs already, so they're not going to go with him. This would be another massive get. This is a kid that's been along for a while. He's a borderline 4-star safety. On 247, he's ranked a 0.88, which is like as close to a 4-star as you can get. He's the number 9 player in the state of New Jersey. This one would probably fill Jeff Hafley's get in that he was. I think he said wow. I think this would be a wow. I think this would be a wow for him. And it would be. I mean, you're now looking at a defensive back class that has Sean Battle, Carter Davis, Nate Johnson, and now possibly Khalil Ali. That is already turning out. I mean, if you add in Roderick Pleasant to this, you're going to have a superstar defensive backfield that is going to be really exciting to watch and super talented. So you're going to love that, right? Now, the other big news is that this is going to be another massive weekend of recruiting, right? There's going to be a ton of kids on campus. And one of the biggest names that you're going to want to watch for is Montrell Wade, a wide receiver, 6'0" wide receiver from Tyler, Texas. Again, Texas wide receivers. BC's had success there. Jaden Williams is there. He's ranked a 3-star. He's right now. He was on 247's, I believe, crystal ball to Texas Tech, but he moved up his visit to BC a week. Which is interesting. That could mean a bunch of things. Maybe he just wants to check it out to make sure he's making another decision correctly, or maybe he's super interested in BC and wants to make that choice. Again, speed kills here, right, folks? And he is a track star who runs elite speed. He runs a 11 100 meter as a sophomore, which is right around a little bit higher than what Roderick Pleasant does. Super fast. So, again, Hafley's going after these kids that are really, really quick. You're also going to have Zach Yamaochi, an offensive tackle from Bishop Gorman, a powerhouse program in Nevada, coming on campus. You're going to also have CJ Blocker, who has an all-time name. He's a cornerback from New Caney, Texas. He's going to be on campus, another speedster from the Lone Star State. It's going to be a huge weekend for BC again. And I'm sure we're going to see lots of get-ins from Jeff Hafley out there throughout the weekend. So make sure to check out BC Bulletin. And on Monday, we'll have updates on any new commitments that come in. Thank you all for listening on YouTube. If you have not done so already, just hit subscribe. Super simple. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. I'll be doing these whenever there's not a new podcast. And we did this one because we talked about Christian Mahogany on the podcast for 3 straight sections. We needed to get some recruit talk in there because I know you guys really wanted that. So thank you all for listening. We'll see you again soon. Take care.